Good morning. Today I'll be presenting the social network problems and more. That's 1.2.3 in the syllabus. The learning objective is to discuss social and ethical issues associated with the networked world. Starting off, we have a recap, so defining client and P2P. So client is from a networking perspective, a client is a computer that can access a server. P2P is a traffic model where there is no hierarchy in the exchange, transfer, or transmission of data. And before we look at the different types of issues, it's important that we establish what a stakeholder is. So a stakeholder is any person who has an interest or concern in something, and they're directly affected by the actions of a business or by the action of another stakeholder. So normal stakeholders who are involved in the system are system analysts, end users, software manufacturers, and the client's company. So there are different types of issues when we're talking about social and ethical issues. So of course, naturally, as it sees from the name, you can split into social issues and ethical issues. So what are social issues? So a social issue can be defined as a problem that influences many people in society. The impact of a social issue is normally positive or negative. These are normally generic and they don't really relate to technology but can be caused by an application of technology. Examples are crime, health, education, terrorism, free speech, and media. Then we look at ethical issues. They are more likely to be related to a computing scenario. But first we should define ethics. So we can say that ethics are the rules or protocols generally accepted by society that determine if an action is good or bad, whether it is the intention or the outcome of said action. Furthermore, we can apply this to computing to say that computing ethics are moral guidelines that govern the use of the stakeholders. Therefore, the ethical issues of computer science are the problems or situations that require the stakeholder to choose between alternatives, which must then be evaluated as right or wrong. There are a few examples which we'll look at in further detail. First example is privacy, and that refers to when we're controlling how and to what extent data is accessed and used by others in order to protect identity. It includes GPS location services, data sold to companies, but also issues with anonymity, for example, cyberbullying, hacking, terrorism, etc. Then we talk about security, which is protecting hardware, software, peripherals, data, and networks from unauthorized access. Then we look at censorship, which is if some information is deemed inappropriate by the higher governing authorities, network managers and telecommunication regulators can block access via domestic networks. An example is Facebook in China, a voice over internet protocol in UAE, which is online calling, and game sites in schools. Then we have surveillance, which is monitoring people for law enforcement, employers, and traffic control. And that poses a big ethical question. What is the degree of privacy that a human should be allowed, and how much is it that the people above know? And is there a disregard for consent? Then we look at the digital divide. And so due to economic disparity, there are inequalities regarding use and access to computer systems in different countries. It leads to inequality in access to information and education. Thank you very much.